Financing Fridays. Hi, welcome to the Froggy Five. I'm your host, Jim Freilich, founder and managing partner of Froggy Companies. And today I'm glad to be joined by Peter Bartash, the CEO, founder, and managing partner of Port One Companies out of Boston. So I'll give you a last question. 3 Fridays from now, there'll be a 2-minute episode of you talking to me about financing and how you're dealing with the financing challenges of today. Any good tidbit you want to give to the few fledgling listeners I'm wrestling up here for the Froggy Five? I know this is an area you have a lot of knowledge in. So, what are your thoughts on financing today?
I think a lot of people are afraid to have a difficult conversation because the sentiment that you see online and publicly from other folks is that everything's great and we're moving things forward and we don't have concerns. I think that, at least anecdotally, the reality is very different in some of the conversations I have behind closed doors with folks about what's going on in their organizations or areas of the world. And I have found that operating from a place of radical transparency and candor in these relationships with our debt and equity partners has been incredibly valuable in discovering new solutions or new approaches that solve unexpected challenges in projects, and specifically from a capital perspective. That has been enabled by the way that we've underwritten our projects and deals, which you have to be careful. You can't be too conservative when you're underwriting something because it's very easy to convince yourself to never do anything. There has to be a part of you that is willing to run headfirst into a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. But you have to be mindful of what the risks are and thoughtful about the other levers you're planting for yourself to be able to pull in the event of an unexpected outcome. And this is where development as an aspect of our broader business becomes an interesting thing, because we're not relying on fee income from development opportunities that are in construction in order to fuel our business. We have fee income from other correlated or non-correlated businesses that are much more direct to consumer or to business, right? And it allows us to make more thoughtful and more patient asset level decisions that are better for the deals, better for our partners, better for our investors, even better for our clients in the case where it's a management for fee type arrangement. And, we've underwritten everything we've taken on through that lens of saying, is this thesis correct in this marketplace? Is this trend correct? Does the data support this? And then even if we're right, what does it look like if we're wrong? And how do we need to think about our starting point in order to be able to absorb those issues? And that's why 2 of our deals that are furthest along and that we're waiting to bring into construction, we're not waiting to bring them in construction because we can't get access to capital. We're waiting in because we don't feel the timing is right yet to start those projects, but they're perfectly financeable because of how they were underwritten and because of how we've approached structuring the capital methodically and incrementally throughout the delivery process, so that we're always keeping an eye on our exposure and our risk position moving ahead. And I think that there is enough energy and interest in wanting to do deals, and there are enough people who want to help things move forward, and there is liquidity in the market today to make things happen. But you have to be good at telling the story. You have to be very, very dialed in on execution. And you have to be willing to take things in increments and move things forward a little bit more slowly and cautiously than in the past. And that's how we're dealing with the financing challenges today.
All right, great. Well, good answer. Thank you, Peter. We took an hour to get through this. We'll be cutting down below that hour for sure. Usually I'm cutting out half of my nonsense of talking, but I like to just have a real conversation with you. But it's been great talking to you, and you followed up Axel really well. You guys are a great duo. The fact that you guys work together on stuff is amazing, because you're both highly intelligent, consummate professionals. I appreciate you taking the time with me today, and tell people how to get in touch with you and how to make something happen.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for having me here. I have a tremendous amount of respect for what you're doing and what you're building as well. It's been a pleasure being alongside you for that journey and continuing to look for opportunities to collaborate. And I think we've got a good group here together. So I look forward to continuing the conversation.
All right, let's do it. You guys reach out to Peter anytime at port1.com. And you can see him all over out there. But check our show notes if you want to get in touch with Peter. You'll see him on other podcasts. And just don't come to him with a fractional C-level idea until he gets his middleware in place, and then he'll help facilitate. So, thanks a lot, Peter.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, thanks for having me on. If anybody else wants to find out more about what we're doing, please come to froggycompanies.com. Check out our 3 different business areas. We also have the Froggy Fund 1 that's now open for up to $18 million. We're going to be investing that $18 million across a diverse number of assets, cash flowing and ground up. And I'm really excited about this fund and really confident that we can outperform most of the other people out there in terms of what we invest in and how we do our due diligence and the type of partners we put together. So it's great talking to you, and see you next time.